So contact page. The contact page is actually a very important part of your website. It's where people can contact you maybe after, or will contact you maybe when they want to have a service from you, or they want more information based on the product or service you're giving it. So a contact page is actually very important for every single business. It can have your information, that's your address, your phone number, your email address, and also a direct messaging platform for every single person, for you, so that the user or whoever is going to be there to contact you directly from that particular page. So the contact page is actually very unique and very, very important for everybody. It's actually important to actually have for everybody. So I'm going to go to jump into the contact page. I'm going to be a little bit fast today because yesterday I felt that I just wasted, not that I wasted time per se, but I took time because I wanted to really explain template kit. So I want to really jump into contact page. So right now I'm going to go to pages. Everybody's template kit or theme actually has a contact page by default. So depending on what you used depending on your theme, the name doesn't really matter. I'm sure some people's own is contact us, some people is contacts. My own says hello, right? I intentionally put it like that, so it's quite different than the rest. Okay, let me also switch to the other one so that you guys will see. This is another website, and you can see here the contact page just simply says contact. I'm also going to edit this as well. I don't know how to kind of confuse everybody here, because right now I think at this moment I'm editing using a different builder, right? But I just want you guys to see the implementation is actually quite the same and quite similar per se, right? You can see at this moment, or at this place here, all the websites, what you can see the information based, like information of where my business is at. Although I still have to edit this, but this is you too. You also have to edit yours. Here it's showing the address is showing in France, so I have to edit this to Nigeria. I have to actually change this number, right? I have to change this email address, and maybe somebody has a career per se. You want to send in your CV to us or something in that nature, right? So depending on what you have in mind, and also the map to my location, so you can easily just click on the map and it goes directly to your Google Maps, so you can link us. You can link it to the you can link directly to the office. Now, not every contact page, right, not every contact page will have the Google Map in it, right? Not every contact page will have the Google Map in it. If yours doesn't have, you don't have to worry, right? It doesn't mean that it's not really compatible with your theme, okay? But if it has, and you want it, you can easily just implement it. If your theme doesn't have, right? If your theme doesn't have a Google Map on it and you want to implement it, there are ways to implement it, and it's quite simple. But if you want to implement it, we can do that outside this class, because what I want to do right now is to just work on the themes that are available part time. Okay. Excuse me. So now you can see at this moment in time, this is like the contact form. You have my full name. The person can implement his full name, can implement the username. Then he can tell me what he wants to do, whether he wants to do. You can tell me what you want to do, whether you want to do web design, development is actually there. Second one. Then here also mobile apps, depending on what he wants to do. There are other services that we render, so I'd have to add more services there. Then maybe like you write your project description or a small message here, like the person should click on submit. in this particular form, you can see just like the other places here on this particular section here, although this is a different builder, but we're going to use the other builder as well, Elementor builder. Just like this place here, if I want to edit this block, all I have to do is click on edit or something in that nature, then it kind of loads, then I'm able to edit it easily, right? Quarter is a 1, that is a 1930101, just South Nigeria. All right, so this here has kind of a different nature. This, you can see, to edit this is quite simple, but for this contact 7, with this one that here that is showing contact 7 here, I can't really just edit the email, or maybe I can't edit really everything in this particular place. It just tells me that I have to edit it literally from contact 7 plugin itself. Now, contact 7 itself is a plugin, and that's literally all we're going to do. We're going to be trying to edit here. We're going to edit this contact here that has a contact 7 on it to fit into our contact page. So what I'm going to do is just, first of all, is actually check the name of the contact that is displaying here, so that I will just be able to edit it from the form itself. Contact form 1, that's the name of the contact. So I'm going to go back. Let me update this. Then I'm going to go back to the contact plugin. Now, the contact, it will only show you contacts. Contact 7 will show you here contact. So this is the plugin here for contact 7. I click on it, then it's going to load the form. Now we have 2 forms here. Then we have to be very careful which one is actually the right form. Both of them are literally named contact form 1. This one is also contact form 1, but this one has an error on it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually delete one and just use the other one. Then we'll go back to our system to confirm which one we actually used, or which one we're going to use for our system. Okay. So now I'm going to select the one that has a kind of an error detected on it, or better still, let's just edit it so that we can actually see what is really inside first. We see the content. Good. Let's see the content that is involved. Then we now decide on which one we want to do. We want to use, or maybe we can even use 2 of them for something else, or 2 of them for different occasions or different time. What's the word? Purposes. So I'm going to edit this one in another tab. Also edit another one in another tab, so that I can have this page still standing. So I'm going to go here now. Contact 7 forms. This is how it actually. This is literally the environment. This is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. I'm going to change the name of one of this one of them, so that that confusion won't be there for myself. For everybody sometimes, because you may have all these kind of issues when you're going on, so it's better to just actually label things the best way you can, so that you can have easy flow of that. And also always keep in mind this short code that is here: contact 7 ID 1630, right? Contact title contact form 1. Always keep in mind this ID here. This ID is like the main thing itself. So in my mind, I've registered that, okay, one of the contacts is 1630, and is the one I'm about to edit at the moment. So looking at this, you can just look at it. If you know HTML very well, or if you know HTML very well, it will be easy for you to understand this entire code in this place. If you do not understand HTML, you don't fully need to understand it per se. Just understand what each of these represents. This here means label, and this is like the open is a tag. So it's like an open tag for a label. This is a open tag for a label, right? And this is the closing tag for the label. And the label content says your name, okay? Then this is like the space where the name was going to be entered. Let's go back to, okay, no. Let's go back to the form, the contact page, right? That the part that says, where are you? The part that says your name, right? That this is the label, or we can change it to something like full, oh, caps lock is on. Full name, right? The person's name, then the place where the area where the name will be. Go back here, full name, the area where the full name first, then the area where the person is going to insert the name, right? The next one is your email, then the area where the person's email will be, exactly what's here, your email address, right? Then the area where the person's email will be. So this is all you need to know. You don't really need to understand the full structure of HTML and all those kind of things. So, but if you just understand, okay, label means, okay, label, it means the area, or rather, the place where I'm going to fit either the name and the area of the person who puts the name, right? you insert the name, then you now have the submit. This is just to represent the button. Submit here is the keyword to represent the button, and the text to represent the button. You can change it to, you can change all this information on in quotes to maybe something you like. I can say hey, right? You can change it to anything you like, or say, then depending on what you have in mind. Also, this space here is subject, or you can say topic, depending on what you have in mind, or depending on what you want to get out to your users. I feel my screen is small. Okay, let me increase it a little bit one more time so that everybody see it very well. Okay, it's quite big, so everybody should should see it well. Okay, now this just shows a little bit the area. This is going to be like the area itself for where the person is going to put his information. So from here I know that, okay, this is like a simple form, right? And definitely it is not the same thing with what is here on this particular website, this particular form, because this also has tell us about your project, right? What that's or what projects you tell us about your project. So this particular area here is kind of missing, but also is similar to this here subject. Now to add this, I'm going to show it's definitely going to be in the other form. So we'll edit, since we're editing the other form as well, I'm not going to go into this, but I'm going to show you how to add other simple areas into your form as well. So let me go back. So this is simple. This is a simple or basic code per se for contact 7. You can keep it in mind. If you want to add other things, you can add a text. Let's say you just want to say change. You don't want the person to put his full name at once. You can just say, you can put here first name, right? Then you can add a text. You can call the text. You click on, now check what I did though. I clicked on text here, then it brought out a, what's it called, dialog box kind of that nature. I'll make it a required field, right? Then I'll make a text. This is just like the ID of the text. Yeah, the default value, I'm going to leave this empty, okay? Then you can leave every other thing here, just so that you are safe. Changing all these IDs, giving the ID attributes is if maybe you want to refer to it on later end. So you don't need to really do that. You can leave that. You can change the name here actually to something a little bit more simple. You can change it to 5. Then I'm going to insert the tag. I'm going to insert the tag here. So it comes here, right? But it is not fully structured. You can see it is similar, just like this one is similar to this here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is actually put it inside another label. So I'm going to go enter. I'm going to say label, right? Last name. Give it a little tab. Oh, oops. Give it a space. Then I'm going to end the tag label. So simple, short. This is how to add a new tag. This is how to add a new form on it. So now that the form has the first name, person input his first name, input his last name, input his email, and the rest. You can add other things. You can add the telephone. You can add the number, or you can add the number rather. You can add dates. You can add, maybe you want to ask for date of birth. You can literally just do it like as if you had maybe like a questionnaire sort of, right? So you can use contact 7 for multiple things. There are other platforms for doing this. There are other simpler forms for doing this, right? If we have time, we may go into it. If we have time, we may go into it. But for now, oh, whoa, what just happened? My stuff just signed me out. Okay. All right. If we have time, we'll go into it. But for now, this is the default system, and almost every website uses a contact 7. Right? If your website doesn't use a contact 7, that means it's either using a WP form, which is here, a WP form, or it's using another kind of contact form. But if your website is using using contact 7, right, this is how to edit it. This is how to add. It's very simple. So now once you have added this, the next thing to do is to go to mail, right? Then at this moment in time, we are telling the system that, okay, I want the person I want to receive emails, right? I want to receive emails rather to a particular email address. The email address, you have to define it here. Then you have to set it, okay, I want to receive that email address from one particular email address. You have to define all these things. It's very, very important. Yeah, it can get very annoying, but it's actually very, very important. Subject, you have to define this. The email itself, that's the main message that the person sends, has to be defined. Then you can leave all these kind of things here, or you can even delete this place here, since you can delete maybe this or something else, or customize it the way you want it to be. Hans-Bello, then Hans-Bello Media. You can write yours on the system depending on what you have, and move on to something else. Okay. Since here I'm going to write my own email address in this particular place, because I'll be sending it from my email address. I'll be sending it from my main website email address, right? That's media@hansbello.com, to my personal email address, which is going to be let me put it here, Matthew, which I think most of you already know, Hans-Bello, Matthew@hansbello.com, right? Then the subject is going to remain subject, and all this is going to remain the same. Although you don't really need to change most of this. File attachments, that's for another day. You can check YouTube for that. I do not want to go into that because I don't think it's for now. I don't think it's important. So I want to save this. Please, every time you do this, save the "why are you always signing me out?" Okay, I think it's. Let me save this again. Okay, good. Now, since we're done with this mail area, Okay, it identified it as my admin anyways. I'm going to go to messages. Now, the messages here are like what the person receives after the person sends in a contact. If the thing is, if it's successful, this message is going to appear. Thank you for your message. It has been sent. If it was unsuccessful, you're going to send this. If there are other issues, this is what the person is going to receive. You can read through them, right? The person didn't fill a particular form that is required. Yeah, it's going to get this image. So all this there are a lot of images here. You can read through them, understand them for yourself, right? Then together. So I love using a particular message. I try to be a little bit goofy sometimes. No. Let's go. We got you. We got your message. We'll get back to you in no time. Alright? I try to be goofy sometimes because that's like the nature of the entire structure I have in mind. Just to be a little bit understanding, to be relative with people depending on my target audience. I have particular target audience I try to reach out to, so they will understand with what I have in mind. It can be a little bit corporate if I want to, but because of my target audience and because of my users, right, I tend to be a little bit playful per se in that nature. So I have messages down. I'm going to save it as well. Where's the save button? Okay. Save that as well. Then when we're done with messages, I'm going to go to additional settings just to check. Please do not touch anything in additional settings. Please do not touch anything in additional settings. I'm saying that now. Please do not touch anything in additional settings. Unless you are a developer, please do not touch anything in the additional settings. Good. Let me review everything I have done. Oh, okay. It changed something for me. What's happening? Okay, I think it's the refresh that took place. Hans-Bello Media, just to confirm everything that was in place. Okay, why do I have to do this again? Alright, I think everything is set. Refresh, let me save it. Please make sure you save your work every single time. Very, very important. I think I changed it to 2. What's happening? Okay. Alright. Alright, great. I think everything here for contacts, for our contact form 2 is ready. So I'm going to use this for another purpose entirely. So I'm going to go back to contact form 1, the other contact form, so that we view it and we see what we can do and how we can edit it to make it make sense to us. Now, looking at this, you see that this is a little bit different from the other structure. It's not different because of whether the line of code is a little bit better. This one is still HTML per se. I do not want to actually fully go into this, but it's actually important in case maybe you want to edit it the best way possible. You can see if you understand HTML a little bit, that's coding. HTML a little bit, you understand what div is, you understand what this is here, and the other. That is why I started with that other one. I started with the other one because it is a little bit simpler, right? It's easy to understand. This one is just for the hard guys and the rest. You don't really fully need to understand all this, right? So I just want to do one thing so that you guys will see it and you can use it for yourselves. Okay, just one thing. Okay, now understand. I will just look through. It starts with a div, right? And there's an end div here, meaning that this is one area, one section. You can ignore the remaining. It starts here with a div, right? It ends with a div. This is another area, another section. It starts with a div, right? No end div here, okay? Meaning that the form continues, meaning that this is like maybe it's like a form or something in that nature. So here it says there's a paragraph here. P means paragraph in HTML. Tell us about your project. Tell us about your project. I want to change this because I don't need this statement. I'm going to say what you want to do. What you want to do / create. All right. What you want to do, what / create. Now, just like I said, right, I have a particular target audience. So there's a particular tone I give out. To that particular target audience. Always keep that in mind. So I check. There's another div that is open. So it's like putting a box. We're putting another box inside a box, right? Div is like a box or put inside a box. At this moment, we're doing HTML classes. That's good. So we now have index type. Then we have a check, meaning that there's a checkbox. Name, subject, web design. So this is literally telling us that all that code is only for this particular area here. All that code we just saw there was just for this particular area here. Web design area where the person can check and say, okay, it's web design I want to do, right? So web design development. Now this development is quite vague because there's web design, unless you are doing, the person is talking about a UI UX, right? Web design development. I'm going to change this to branding, right? Then you have mobile apps here. We have mobile apps here in this particular place. You can see the similarities, easy to understand. Please, if you have any issues, please stop me. If you are confused in any area, please stop me so that I go back and I explain it. Now, if you check here, there's a small is just telling the system that, okay, the type of you can see regular text here is kind of thick, while here is a little bit lighter. That is what the small does. That's what the small does here. It makes here look a little bit light. That's what I'm doing. Then you can see that here is a closed div, meaning that it closes the div prior to it. That's this one here. So what we know at this moment is that this div is the one that initiates the text, that checkbox, and it closes it here. So what you can do in this nature, you don't need to know code. If you want to add another text box, you want to add another checkbox rather, just copy this one here, Control C, copy it, click on enter, Control V, paste. It will copy it. So all you need to do now, instead of now you can see we have one web development here, one web design, you have another web design. Just click on another web design and just change it to what you want to do. Maybe social media. I'm going to stop here for this because I don't want to but you guys viewing this, you can see that it's actually very simple to understand and simple to view. That's all you need to know for this, right? It is very simple actually. So I'm going to save this. Always save. You can see that there's going to be an error. Why? I have to refresh this page as well. Then I have to do what I did again. Branding. Where are you? I'm going to copy this. Control C. V. Social media management. Alright. I'm going to save this. Alright, good. Then I'm going to, now we have this down, right? Next thing, just like the other one, we're going to go to forms, we're going to go to mail, then we're going to activate some of those other things because they're precisely they're going to be some kind of funny issues that we're going to have. Then, just like before, I want the message to go to Matthew at Hans-Bello.com. Please, you must edit all these things, else the message won't come to you. From who? I'm going to change this information here to Hans-Bello Media, from Hans-Bello Media. Then the email too must be changed. You can see that there's another email here. So it's important to actually change all this information. From media at Hans-Bello.com. Please note that this sender here, the from, right? The from, these two can be your Gmail account, right? These two can be your Gmail account. Then this from here must be the email address that you created. Must be the email address, the custom email address that you created for your website. It must be, all right? If not, it's not going to send, or it's not even going to deliver at the end of the day. All right. Maybe we have to do, okay, that means we have to actually do creating an email address. I think I added that. I hope I added that. Please add. Tell me I added that. Wow, I did not add that. Let me just add it. Creating an email account. We'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the last class, so that's why I'm trying to rush. And I'm still going slow. Okay, I'm going to take this out. Invalid form. No, I'm going to additional header. I'm going to take this, make this empty. I don't need this. Information. I'm going to edit all this out because it's not important. Hans-Bello Media. Right. Okay. Then yeah, I think that's all actually. Yeah, I think that's all. So I'm gonna just save this. I'm going to save this. Then yeah, we have all errors are cleared, and we are sure that the email is gonna actually drop on it's gonna drop at Matthew@Hans-Bello.com. Okay. Messages. Okay, it's showing fine here. Please do not touch this, like I said before. So at this moment in time, we're going to see we'll save this. So we're going to test the system and see whether it works. We're going to test the system and see whether it works. So we're going to go to Hans-Bello, my website.com, and whatever your website is. Okay, then I'm going to navigate to contact. Hello. Remember, my contact page is hello, so it's going to be different from everybody's own. So it's going to slide, just like I said before. I didn't edit everything. I just edited this first one here. So this is going to change. It's going to reflect. So I'm going to slide down to our form. It's a little bit choked. It's a little bit choked here, so I definitely have some editing to do. So I'm going to show you how to edit this. So we're going to test this. Here, full name, Matthew's, what? Email address. I'm going to put my Gmail account. I'm going to say I want social media management. Then I'm going to put just testing the system. Then submit. Right. If it does well, good. If everything clears, what goes, okay, good. The message should. It should, but it should under. Thank you for your message. It has been sent. All right. Meaning that our information has been sent well, meaning that everything is working perfectly. That's good. That's good for us. Messages. I'm going to change this to let's go. We got you. We'll get back to you in no time. Alright. In no time, save. Alright, go back, refresh this page. Now we're going to try it again and see what it says. Matthew, email, web dev this time, blah 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 blah. Submit. Alright, let's go. Gotcha, we got you. We'll get back to you in no time. Good. Now you can see how easy the contact form it is, right? Easy to create, easy to manipulate, but it's actually it can get a little bit complicated, especially when it have to do with the HTML tag per se. So you can see that it's a little bit very interesting. It's actually very interesting, yeah. So any questions based on this, please, before we go on? Any questions, please? Anybody with any questions? You should have questions. You should have questions. Anybody with any questions? Please ignore what I'm doing right at the moment. It's just for me to...
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I just need a little clarification on the email, the to and the from. You said the to should be Gmail. That's our admin email, right?
Yeah, the to. Sorry, hold on. Let me go to emails, right? Or where is it?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. The two can be your Gmail account, right? Or it can be your Gmail account or any email account that you can easily have access to. You are sure that you will see the messages. You will see the messages immediately, right? Matthew.
Okay, it doesn't have to be the one I used with the WordPress.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Yes, exactly. It doesn't have to be that. Yeah, the one that you use with the WordPress. It doesn't have to be. I created this as my personal email address. That is why I'm using it here. Right? It can be any email address that you decide to use. But the from must be an email address related to your domain name, right? My domain name is Hans-Bello.com. That is why I'm using this email address. So it's actually very important. You have to take note of that, please.
Okay.
Great question.
Okay, so tomorrow you teach us how to create the one with our domain name. So
yeah, tomorrow I'll teach you how to create an email address with your domain name. That will be the final class, actually.
All right. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any question on contact form or contacts?
Yes, please. So thank you for your time. Right now, if we want to test our own contact form, while we are yet to create our email from the domain name, what will the from address be?
What would the from address be?
Yes.
Okay, no, the from address is going to be most likely from either a WordPress at the team's website.com. So possibly there's a high probability that you're not even going to receive the email. That is why you have to actually have come here and change it.
Okay.
That's why you have to come here and change it. That's why it's important I show you how to change it, and you actually have to change it at the end of the day, actually. So it's actually important to do this. Why am I saying actually too much? So have that in mind. So for the contact page, it's important you actually do this. It's very, very important. So also, like I said, yeah, I'm going to show you WP forms now. Let me pause first. Let me do one pause.